everyone, and welcome back to another episode of FC Chelsea Talks plus a reaction for the United vs Liverpool game. And today, people, it doesn't take much. Do subscribe to the content, do like, and please stay till the end. It's going to be a great show. Please stay till the end and do subscribe if you haven't. So, people, we've had some great week of football, some absolutely beautiful news. We've had United beating Liverpool, Chelsea getting smashed by Leeds United 3-0. We have seen Arsenal being top of the league, Newcastle and Manchester City draw 3-3. We've also saw some transfer rumors coming. Gordon for 60 million. We have seen Aubameyang for 30 million. We've also seen Antony for 100 million to United. We have seen Hakim Ziyech just leaving the Chelsea game after Leeds and straight away reaching to Amsterdam to join Ajax if Antony deal goes through. That's how mad, people, the footballing world has been. And people, do bet yourself in because it's going to be a fantastic show today. And the first news, people, I'm going to talk about is regarding United 2 and Liverpool 1. People, what a match. What a performance by Manchester United. Now, yes, I'm a Chelsea fan, but that was a fantastic performance by Manchester United. Today on this show, people, I'm going to discuss about Manchester United back on track, patience for Ten Hag, Rashford, Sancho, Varane, and Martinez. And then we'll also go on towards the Liverpool talk as well. So do stay tuned in and do subscribe if you haven't. So starting on Manchester United, and people, Manchester United performed very, very well in my opinion yesterday. Especially, people, the intensity they played with was very rare we saw from Manchester United side for a very, very long time. They played with a lot of intensity, the work rate, the desire, which we haven't seen for the last, you can say, 2-3 years at least for me, because they were magnificent. Last time I remember them playing with this passion was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when they beat Manchester City at home 2-0. This was a fantastic performance by United. They were absolutely up for the game. The pressing was on point. The winning rate was on point. They were winning the aerial duels. They were winning every 50-50 battle. And that was a very, very good performance by Manchester United. Now, are they back on track? People, is very difficult to say. Liverpool is a game where you're always up for it. And welcome Chelsea Blues to the chat. Big support of the channel. Thank you, sir, to join and hope you're very well and very good. So you can see with Manchester United, and I have always told you, I've been backing Martinez for a long, long time. And I think people always overrate things in terms of, oh, but Martinez's height is not good. So can he settle himself into the league? Oh, Martinez is so short. His height will not work. But Martinez performed very well and he's a very, very good player. It takes time for a player from different league to settle himself. But Martinez is going to be a good buy for Manchester United. I think United are not back on track because they still have a lot to do. Let's see what they do against Southampton next week. But this is a good confidence boost for United to march ahead and go towards the next matches. Now going to Ten Hag. And I think people who are subscribed to the channel know that I always respect Ten Hag as a rival fan. And United fans need to show some calmness to the manager. He's a very, very good manager who will play some very, very good football. His style is very, very good to watch when once it's been fully established within the players. But this type of style, people, takes time, takes patience, requires certain profile of players, and a bit of patience has to be shown, which I think people always do not give the manager. Ten Hag is a good manager, and fans need to show more patient people. Now, Rashford. Now, people, Rashford is a player I've always respected and always admired. And RMA and MUFC Ultra in the chat, people, do subscribe to his channel. Yes, sir. United talk before we go to Chelsea talk as well. And English media, I have no words. I have not even one word for this English media because for them, Martinez is short. He's not good, a foreign player. And that's the problem with British media. I'm sorry if people are watching, but British media is one of, if not the worst you will see. And what happened to Frenkie? I'm not understanding. I think it's been very surprising. And I think he and his agent are making a milking situation of this. And they need to decide so that they stop wasting time with Chelsea and we can consider other players as well. United have done the same and they've gone with Casemiro. So people now going to Manchester United, and for me, Rashford was very, very good. Yes, some touches were not good at the level it should be. Some of the touches by Rashford were not at a good level for me. But his work rate, his passion was beyond imagination. And he put everything again in the match. The goal was good, and it was a proper Marcus Rashford goal, which he used to score under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We go to a Sancho, and people who have been subscribed to this channel will know that I have been always saying that Sancho is one of, if not the most talented player in the United team. And he's a player I absolutely love at Chelsea. He's a beautiful, beautiful player. Sancho must be back. And it was so good to see Sancho playing well, people. And Sancho's finish was so calm. He scored against Manchester City as well. And very, very good goal in my opinion. And Martinez, well done. He shut the whole British media, performed well, handled well, and I think he was good player on the ball as well. And taking some questions here before we go to Liverpool. What he's trying to achieve, Frankie, I'm myself not understanding. I think it's the case of that he loves Barcelona to absolute bits. He's a childhood Barcelona fan, so he doesn't want the dream to go away. So on one hand, he wants to stay at Barcelona. But on the other hand, he and his agent feel insulted the way Barcelona have criminalized his case, the way fans are booing, and now they want their deferred wages back. He also wants to play some Champions League football, so won't mind going to Chelsea and Bayern. It's just like he loves Barcelona too much and he wants to stay, but he feels disrespected and offended by the Barcelona boards and the higher-ups, so he still will entertain the offer of leave. And this is why Frenkie De Jong is 50-50 and he's wasting the time of Chelsea, he wasted the time of Manchester United, and has agreed it's enough now. Enough is enough. He needs to come out now and say whether he wants to stay or go. If you want to stay, reduce your wages and stay at Barcelona. If you don't want to stay, take the offer of Chelsea or even other clubs and go away. You are just dragging the time of Chelsea, United, and now also wasting the time of our own club, Barcelona, as well. So, Van Disney sent back to Holland. I think Van Dijk has been very bad this season so far. I love Van Dijk and respect him. He's a fantastic defender. But he has been very poor this season, people. And this brings me on to Liverpool. And the question arises, what's happened to Liverpool? Can they win the league? Do they need new signings? What are they missing Sadio Mane and over-dependence on Mohamed Salah? So people, I'll first of all start with the first question. And you can even see the face of Jurgen Klopp. I think we all are stunned what's happening on. Because Liverpool were a team that they used to admire. A team which really used to drop points. And right now, they have dropped points in matches where you expect 9 points from them. What's happened to them? I think reality has stuck into them. I think Liverpool were going a bit complacent in every game. That we are Liverpool, will get the points we need. The teams will lay down for us. They'll be happy to lose 2-0, 3-0. And this is why I think Liverpool have been stunned. And also, they have not been playing with the intensity we know. Can they win the league? Right now, it looks absolutely out of order. I still think Liverpool are still the most capable team in the Premier League to finish second in the league. They still can put a run of 15-16 matches in a row, which Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal are incapable of, and even United. So Liverpool still have the best chance to be in the top 2 in the Premier League. But the problem, people, with Liverpool is they are competing with City, and City already are 5 points above them, and City really dropped points. So it's a massive, massive bad start by Liverpool at the moment. New signings. And about the new signings, people, I will say one thing. They do need new signings. Now, people, Liverpool are a club who work very much to their plan. They are not a club who panic, who suddenly go, oh my God, we are struggling. Let's pay 80-90 million for this player. They only pay the money for the player they want. Darwin Núñez was, for me, not an 80-90 million player. But Liverpool wanted him. Liverpool thought he will fit their style, so they paid 80-90 million. They paid 75 for Van Dijk, 70 for Alisson. Liverpool, when they want to sign someone, they pay the big money. At the moment, for me, they're not signing midfielder because Liverpool are saving the money for Jude Bellingham next season. But the only thing I will say is, I think Liverpool need to work a bit in the mix as well. The problem is, I agree with Liverpool and their strategy that they want to save their money for Bellingham. But does this mean you are going to sacrifice this season and take even a third or fourth finish in trophyless season? So Liverpool need to be very, very careful. And they don't know the importance of Sadio Mane, and I absolutely agree. I think Sadio Mane was a very underrated player at Liverpool. I think he was not given the respect he should be. I think it was always Mohamed Salah, and Mohamed Salah is a fantastic player, and I admire Mohamed Salah. I respect Mohamed Salah. He's a very, very good player who I have utmost respect for. But the problem is that Sadio Mane was always disrespected. People never admire him. He used to always chip in with the important goals, late strikes, into the box, big goals in the big games. But because he did not used to put numbers, he was always an easy target for Liverpool. People always used to criticize, Mane is not consistent, Mane is not at the level, do we need to replace him? And now I think reality is stuck in that how good Mane was, and they are missing Mane. The problem is, they replaced Mane with Darwin Núñez, who is very different profile of player. Darwin Núñez is not a player who plays with Sadio Mane, and if you want to play Darwin Núñez, you will have to play defensive, crossing style of football. And this is where Liverpool have changed. With Sadio Mane, they can play the one-touch false nine system, where Sadio Mane, Luis Diaz, and Salah are the forwards, and Liverpool look more like a proper team. Right now, sadly, Liverpool doesn't have the facility for that. They are playing more a striker in Nunes, who needs crosses into his feet, chances into the box, whip crosses, mixed crosses, that all things he need. And this is where Liverpool are struggling, and it's gonna take them time. Liverpool are going through a transition. New players in form of Fabio Carvalho, Darwin Nunes, they will take some time. And for me, it will be better for Jurgen Klopp to drop Jordan Henderson, play the likes of Harvey Elliott, and play the likes of Fabio Carvalho, because Fabio Carvalho was a big difference on the pitch, people. And sir, I'm from Haryana, Ambala, so I'm from the Ambala side. And where are you from, sir? It's good to see Indian fans here as well. And I love this, and I'm so happy that we are becoming a better community. The creators are becoming so good. There's big respect for me to all the Indian creators as well, and every creator around the world as well. And Salah got sent back to Argentina. But I think still Salah scored a very good goal. And Ahmedabad, absolutely beautiful, and it's a great city. And overall, people, going towards the next news as well. And the next news now, we finally come to Chelsea, and it's going to start with Emerson Palmieri. Emerson to West Ham is a here we go, one of the most reliable news reporter in the world. And Emerson to West Ham is a here we go, 13 million plus 2 million in add-ons. First part of medical to be done today. People, there was a bit of news coming in between. The Emerson deal was cancelled, but the good news is now it's been agreed. The deal has not been cancelled, and Emerson Palmieri most probably will join West Ham United for 15 million, where Chelsea will get 13 million, and then we will get 2 million add-ons, which nobody knows what type of add-ons are there as well. And I absolutely agree. Even I forgot Emerson existed, because under Thomas Tuchel, Emerson has really been used, whether in pre-season, whether in matches. Whenever Thomas Tuchel has used Emerson, it's been mostly in the cup games, and that also has a left centre back. It's been very rare, people, that Thomas Tuchel has played Emerson at the left wing. So Emerson, sadly for me, is never been existing, especially when he went to Lyon as well. Sadly, his career stagnated, and I think this is a good deal for all parties involved. Emerson can do well at West Ham, where the pressure is less. I have a lot of respect for him. I think the injuries were a big part of this player not reaching the potential he had. I have a lot of respect for him. Big up to him. And for Chelsea, this is a good deal. We signed him for 21 million. We are selling him for 15 million. It's a good deal for everyone involved. And we can put this money towards signing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And hello, Bhaiya. And Danish Bhai in the chat, people. Big up to him. And United just beat Liverpool. So Danish Bhai is very happy. And big up to all United fans today as well. So people, now going to the next news. And the next news is regarding Frank Lampard. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not cut this. I'm very sorry. And this is the news regarding Frank Lampard, and he's considering a late loan move for Armando Broja. And Chelsea is still reluctant to sanction any permanent sale, which has been very clear for a long time. Armando Broja was not taken to American tour, and there were rumors that Broja is not happy and he wants to leave. But Thomas Tuchel was very clear in the preseason as well that he wants to use Broja, and it's good to see Chelsea are not sanctioning any permanent deal. He's a very good player. Chelsea at the moment in terms of striking position are struggling. Havertz is not providing the output. The attack is struggling. And I think Armando Broja is a big part. And it's good to see Broja just might stay and he might just go on loan. Now, people, Chelsea have been heavily after Anthony Gordon. So it's very understandable that Chelsea might use Armando Broja, Gilmer, and all the other players to sign Anthony Gordon. Now, people, I'll come to Anthony Gordon news later in the video. But Anthony Gordon to Chelsea is around 60 million deal. And that is where Chelsea might use a Billy Gilmer, even a Batshuayi or Armando Broja. Everton right now, people, are absolutely struggling when it comes to signing players. Their striker is Rondon, Calvert-Lewin is injured, and they are struggling. So Broja makes a lot of sense for Frank Lampard and his team, and loan deal is not the worst in the world, people. Now, going to the next news, people, this is regarding Chelsea and Fofana. Chelsea are in contact with Fofana deal intermediaries, but also working on outgoings. Inter are trying to sign Trevor Chalobah on loan up to the clubs. Now, people, being very honest, I'm not even understanding that why in the world is Trevor Chalobah even thinking to go to Inter. He will go to the bench. That team has Bastoni, Skriniar. They have such good defenders. How will he get in the lineup? For me, this is a very, very irresponsible loan. Getting Chalobah and sending him to Inter will be an absolute disaster. If Chelsea want Chalobah to get game time, send him to some Premier League club where he can get the game time. And also, people, I don't know why Chelsea are trying to send Chalobah on loan. We have a lot of problem at the centre back. We have got two centre backs who are above the age of 30. We have got another centre back who is right wing back as well, Azpilicueta, who is near the age of 31. We've also got Fofana, who just might sign for Chelsea, who got an ACL very earlier last year. So he's injury prone as well. And Chelsea at the moment in centre back department are absolutely struggling, people. So I'm not understanding that why are we thinking to loan Trevoh Chalobah when we can use him in the squad. So it's absolutely out of my mind, people. And I don't think I agree with the Gordon deal, but I think the market today is very, very strange. Some players go at the price, which is very, very strange, Danish bhai. And Chelsea plays three at the back, so need step when it comes to centre back. Absolutely agree. And I myself not understanding, Danish bhai, that why Chelsea are even thinking of letting Chalobah go on loan. We have no depth. We have right now Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, Azpilicueta, and Reece James who can play at the centre back. We literally have no depth, and I'm not understanding why Chelsea are even entertaining that. Keep Trevoh Chalobah. He proved himself last year, did his hard work, can play as a CDM as well. I think this is a wrong deal by Chelsea, and especially sending him to Inter will only make him sit on the bench more and not learn anything. Going to the next news, people. This is about Kai Havertz getting a bit of trust from Thomas Tuchel. One player I don't expect to leave Chelsea is Kai Havertz. Thomas Tuchel still rates him very, very highly. And the question is, will Havertz keep starting in the lineup when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will be signed by Chelsea? So will he stay in the lineup? Now, people, when it comes to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, when he signs for Chelsea, he's straight away going to slot in the lineup. Let's be brutally honest. I think at the moment Chelsea are struggling absolutely when it comes to attacking. Now, Kai Havertz is a player I think Chelsea will be absolute fools to sell him. He's such a good player. He glides past opponent and he's still very, very talented. Now, yes, I think people are angry at him, which I can understand. He has not lived up to the potential that we expected of him. He's a player we brought for £72 million, and I agree, people, that he has not lived up to the potential that we expected for Kai Havertz. But people, I'm not making this up on the Champions League goal. I'm not making this up on some other goals. People, he's a very, very good player. He's still 23 years of age. Last year as well, at some point, Kai Havertz showed his ability. The problem with Kai Havertz, people, is Kai Havertz cannot do it consistently. He has always in his career been a slow starter. He plays well for 3 months, goes missing for 3 months, plays well for 3 months, goes missing for 3 months. People, I love Kai Havertz to absolute bits, and one bad form won't make me say, sell Kai. I love Kai, and I want Kai to stay. And I think this is why Thomas Tuchel trusts him, because he can play in a lot of position. But people, he will not stay in the front three if Aubameyang is signed, because Mason Mount is a 100% starter, Sterling is a 100% starter, and Aubameyang will be a 100% starter. So sadly, Havertz won't stay in the front three, but Havertz will stay at Chelsea and will play a big part in the season ahead. So people, taking a bit of questions here before I go to the next news. And I've taken this question, people, and Ujjwal Bhai in the chat, big up to Ujjwal Bhai. Chelsea should be all over CDM. Sign anyone on loan if they want to sign Rice next season. Otherwise, we are in the mud. And Ujjwal Bhai, later in the video, I'll be discussing about the DM situation as well. Should Chelsea go for De Jong, Rice, or whatever? So we'll discuss about it later in the video. And people watching, do subscribe and like the video. It will only help more people to join us today and have a great chat. Now going to the next point, people, the next news. Just a second, people. And this is about Aubameyang. Personal terms have been agreed between Aubameyang and Chelsea. People, we have known this for a long time, that Aubameyang and Chelsea have agreed on the personal terms, and Aubameyang does want to come to Chelsea. So there's no problem about that. It's just about, can both clubs agree on the fee? So Barcelona still want around 30 million, 25 million in other currency. So the negotiation is ongoing. Important days this week to clarify the situation. Now, people, many people have been angry. Why the heck are you paying 30 million for a 34-year-old? That is not the right deal. We are paying so much for Aubameyang. We can play Broha, we can play this, we can play that. First of all, people, I want to ask my own Chelsea fans who are watching this show today, fellow Chelsea fans, We talk about backing the manager. We talk about letting manager build his side. But when the manager wants to build his side, we criticize him. We think we are more smarter than what the manager is doing. Whenever Chelsea do this thing, I get very irritated. When last year Chelsea were not doing well, many people were saying on Twitter, the big Chelsea accounts, that we back Thomas Tuchel, back the manager, stop sacking managers, stop this sacking culture. And now, when Thomas Tuchel is asking his type of players, people are getting angry at him. His targets are not good. His talent ID is not good. This and that. My ID is better than Tuchel. Please, quiet down. He's a great manager and I'll back my manager. If yes, Aubameyang comes at Chelsea and he fails, all the responsibility lies on Tuchel, and that's where I will go and say, yes, Tuchel made a mistake. But right now, I love Thomas Tuchel and I'll back what he got. Yes, 25 million people in the market is a big thing, and for a 34-year-old, it's a big price. But if Aubameyang can come at Chelsea, he can score us the goals, he can give us 20 goals a season, what's the bad thing about it? Just tell me, what's the bad thing about it? Thiago Silva came at Chelsea at the age of 37. Yes, he came at free, but many people said, this is a short-term deal. What's the benefit for Chelsea? What happened? Thiago Silva has been one of the best centre-back in the Premier League in the last 2 years. People, age is just a simple thing. Age is just a simple thing. Aubameyang is still a class striker. He's a Premier League proven striker, good finishing. He has got good movement. He can make the runs in the box, and he's a very good player, people. And I request you all to please back the manager, allow the manager to build his team in his own eyes, and please, people, calm down in Chelsea fans. You can have your opinion. You can be constructive with that. You can be a bit angry that, okay, we're not doing some things right. That is fair enough. But going on Tuchel, criticizing him, people, I'm very sorry, but that is wrong. I hope I'm not offended anyone, but please back the manager. And if manager wants Aubameyang, I also want him. And people, I'm telling you one thing. Aubameyang is one of the less risk options we are signing. He will guarantee us 20 goals a season, make the right movement, be a very good person for Sterling to partner himself. Now, many people say that, and this is where I'm going to go full screen here, people. Many people say that Chelsea have no creators. We cannot create chances. People, first of all, many people have been going about, oh, but Kevin De Bruyne. Who picks the pass in a team? No one. People, there's only one Kevin De Bruyne in this whole world. You will not be able to find another Kevin De Bruyne. That's how good the player he is. Just tell me, people, when Chelsea used to play the midfield of Kante, Matic, and we used to have Victor Moses, Alonso as a fullbacks, then why did we used to score a lot of goals? Because we had Diego Costa, we had Eden Hazard, we had Pedro, who used to create chances for themselves. At the moment, Chelsea have attackers who are young, who are inconsistent. Aubameyang and Sterling can create a very good player where they can create chances for themselves. Aubameyang can make the movements which troubles the defender, and that can give Sterling the space to get in the box. Please, people, be patient. And Chelsea have no creators. I agree. And Chelsea have no creators because the problem is Mason Mount. I love Mason Mount. Mason Mount is not a proper creator. You go towards the other part. Kai Havertz plays as a forward. And the problem is Christian Pulisic is a creator, but the manager doesn't play him. Hakim Ziyech is a creator when the striker is there to him. Other than that, he's not a creator, sir. You go to the other parts of the Chelsea team. Hudson-Odoi at the moment, because of the injury, does not even take a player on. The only biggest creator in the Chelsea team is Reece James, Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell is coming back after ACL injury, and he's been dropped in the squad for Cucurella, while Reece James is always put 2-3 men behind him, because every manager knows you put Reece James and Jorginho out of the game, Chelsea cannot create anything. And this is where if we can get an Aubameyang who can create some nuisance in the box, he can create good understanding with Sterling, Chelsea can even create chances themselves, which a striker and a winger can do. So people, going to the next news today, and the next news is regarding Chelsea and Barcelona. Now, another moment. This is by different source though. That was by Fabrizio Romano, but this is by Relovo. Now, Relovo, I don't know how reliable they are, but Relovo broke down that Chelsea and Barcelona reached an agreement, and that was around 18 million plus some add-ons. Now, people, if Chelsea have agreed this deal, then this is a good deal. 18 million, and I think I do agree. I do agree with you, sir, that it's a you problem. Pulisic and Havertz should be creator. But, sir, I will say one thing. Havertz right now has been given chances by the manager. Frank Lampard played him as an 8. Frank Lampard played him as a right winger. Thomas Tuchel played him as a winger. Thomas Tuchel played him as a striker. And he has so far been inconsistent. Pulisic is really fit, and when he's fit, he goes on a 2-3 match run, and then he goes on a 2-3 match bad run. This is where the problem is, and this is where the inconsistency of the young players come in. Even after having dead midfield, Sia was third after Son and Salah. This is what individual brilliance can do. Oba will be a good signing. Agreed, Danish bhai. And people, I will say one thing before I go to the next news, that Aubameyang at 18 million is a much better deal than paying 30 million around for him. This could be a good deal for Chelsea, a short-term solution. Remember, we also paid 18 million for Olivier Giroud, and that turned out to be one of the best investments we ever made. So I think this is a much better deal, but I don't know how reliable people this source is. So people, now moving on towards the next news today. And the next news today, people, is regarding people watching. Please do subscribe to the channel. Like, it doesn't take much. Just one click and please support the channel, guys. And going to the next news, people, is Hakim Ziyech met again with the Ajax representative today. Direct discussions ongoing, but depends on Antony's future. Chelsea and Tuchel are prepared to let him go. And people, I've been telling you for a long time. So people who are watching, do subscribe to the channel, that Thomas Tuchel at the moment doesn't prefer Hakim Ziyech. And as because Hakim Ziyech plays well with the striker, people have to remember, and this is where the Tuchel criticism gets at a very, very bad level. People want to criticize Tuchel. Oh, but Tuchel is not building the attack. Tuchel cannot coach attack. Tuchel is not a good attacking coach. He's a back three merchant. Please at least understand the analysis of this team. The problem is Hakim Ziyech is a Frank Lampard signing. He was signed by Frank Lampard because Ajax scored a goal against us from a free kick, and he was a left footer. So Frank thought that Hakim Ziyech could be a good player for the striker in a team in Tammy Abraham. Hakim Ziyech was a Frank Lampard signing. Kai Havertz is a player who is very inconsistent and plays well in one game, plays bad in other. Mason Mount is a player who loves to press, gives absolute passion on the pitch. He has got good shooting in him. He makes the right runs, but he's not a proper creator. Hudson-Odoi is a player who once got injured, has not even been able to get the pace back, and he cannot take on players. Christian Pulisic is the most talented player in the team, but is inconsistent and out of favor with the manager. So tell me, what is Tuchel supposed to do? Hakim Ziyech is a player that I always like, and he's a player that is very good to watch when it is best. But Hakim Ziyech needs time on the ball, space on the ball, and a striker he can work with. At Chelsea, he has no striker to work with. The Premier League is very quick, and this is why this is a good deal for all the parties involved, people. One thing I will surely say is Hakim Ziyech's best moments in a Chelsea shirt came in Champions League. Hakim Ziyech was very good for Chelsea in the Champions League, because in the Champions League, you get the space to work in, because you get to play much better teams. Sadly, in the Premier League, he was just not it, and I think this is a good deal for all the parties involved. Yes, it still depends on Antony going the other way, but with United and the Glazer under pressure, I think Antony will sign for Manchester United, and I do think that he will be replaced by Ajax by Hakim Ziyech. Now, nobody knows is this a loan deal or a permanent deal, but it does look like Hakim Ziyech will be going to Ajax, people. So people watching, please, people, do like the content so more people can join. Please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't take much, just one click, and it keeps me motivated and make more and more videos for you. And Hakim deal depends on us. Yeah, Antony will be United player soon. Absolutely, people. And I do think Antony will join United. And at some point, Hakim Ziyech will go to Ajax. And I have nothing but love for him. But for Chelsea people, for me, he was just not good enough. The next news, people, is about Christian Pulisic. And Christian Pulisic might just stay at Chelsea. What a game yesterday. Man United played very well to beat Liverpool. Absolutely, sir. And United were awesome. Absolutely beautiful. And it was good to see the way they played after a very, very long time. That was a great performance. Even as a rival, I enjoyed the performance. And now people coming on Christian Pulisic. Christian Pulisic is set to stay at Chelsea after no genuine offer has been received for the player. This is by Adam Newson of the Football London. And as you can see, the heading I put here is Pulisic to get the chance to prove. Because people, if Pulisic stays at Chelsea but still doesn't get the chance, then I think he will grow frustrated, and then I think he might just force his move out. People have to also remember that Christian Pulisic deal at Chelsea expires in 2024. So if he doesn't get the game time, Chelsea at least this year or the next year will have to sell him. So either we give him the game time or he's going to create problem. Now, people, my humble opinion on Christian Pulisic is 11. He is the most talented attacker in our whole team. The best creator in our whole team. One of the best dribbler in the team. Just behind Sterling. He's also good in finishing when he plays at his best. and Pulisic is still the attacker that can unlock the defenses. But now where the problem comes. Problem is injuries, inconsistencies, and this is where Pulisic has gone out of favor with Tuchel, the manager who gave him debut at Dortmund. I love Pulisic, people, and if Chelsea sell him, I think it's going to be a disaster because this guy can become something big at some other club. I think Tuchel and him have to find an understanding. He's not a right wing back. He's not a false nine. This is where Tuchel has to blame himself a bit as well. But I think Tuchel also gave him good run in the wings position as well. And Pulisic played very well in that run. He played well with Real Madrid 2 years back. But the problem with Pulisic is he goes on a 3 good run, gets injured, comes back and doesn't come the player back he is. And sadly, now Pulisic has not been injured for a long time. But sadly, I think he's been out of favor with the manager. I do hope Tuchel shows a bit of strictness, gives Pulisic at least 5-6 games in a run. And if then this guy cannot prove himself, then I think it's better for both the parties to part ways. But at the moment, I want Christian Pulisic to stay at Chelsea. He's still one of the most talented players Chelsea have in the team. And I do think that he should be given at least 2-3 games to prove himself to the manager, people. Now, going to the next news. And people, this is about Chelsea having encouraged towards a second round of talk for Rafael Leão and was one of the new ownership most highly regarded possible targets. A deal still seems a tall order to complete. People, Rafael Leão is a very, very good player, a player who I admire and a player who is very, very good. He is a player who just does not bring us a striker aspect. He's very good in dribbling. He's very good with the ball. And he's one of the most developed players in the world. People talk about Nkunku. People talk about blah, 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 blah. But this is one of the most least talked about player. And he was very good for AC Milan people last year. Now, people, this is a very, very good player Chelsea can sign. And he will properly fit into the Thomas Tuchel system. He will play the role that Harvard does. And I can guarantee you, people, he will play the role much, much better. He is a very, very great player. Now, the problem that people arises is the price tag and AC Milan don't want to let him go. Now, this is where the problem is. And this is why, people, this deal is not feasible. Chelsea want to pay 80 million for Fofana, 30 for Aubameyang. We are going for De Jong as well. We are going for Gordon as well. And signing so many players is impossible. So I don't think the deal is going to happen this season. But I do think that Todd Bowley is trying to lay groundwork for this deal to happen next season. And that's my opinion, people. I cannot see Rafael Leão come at Chelsea this season, but I can see him come at Chelsea next season, people. And people watching, before going to the next news, do subscribe and do like. It only takes one click and it motivates me to make more content for you, people. And what's the latest with Frenkie De Jong? I'm going to come to that later in the video, sir. And Frenkie De Jong has been fooling everyone for me. And he has been on my nerves, people. And now, people, going to one of the most important points I wanted to talk about today. That is Antony Gordon and the money that Antony Gordon is going to cost. Now, people, you can see here, this is by David Ornstein. He is one of the most reliable journalists in the world. He has been absolutely spot on with every news he has made. And people, he has been absolutely spot on. Antony Gordon has told Everton plus Frank Lampard he wants to join Chelsea. 21-year-old, keen to play Champions League and boost the chances to play in the World Cup. Everton made aware that Chelsea are ready to pay 50 million plus 10 million add-ons, but nothing agreed. Still wants to keep him and need a replacement if he goes. People, this is the news about Antony Gordon. Now, first of all, people, it does look like Everton don't want to sell him, which is very, very understandable. Everton at the moment are letting Dele Alli go to Besiktas. Everton already have Calvert-Lewin injured. They already have the only sole striker right now in Rondon. Their best attacker is Demarai Gray. And Everton people are in a big, big trouble. So Everton don't want to let him go until they find a replacement. Now, people, where I see Chelsea making this deal good is this rumor. Just coming to people, just coming to it. And this is the rumor. Now, Frank Lampard has been trying for Armando Broja. And Armando Broja just might be used to convince Everton to send Antony Gordon the next way. And it might be Broja going on loan, Gilmer going on loan to Everton, while Batshuayi going permanently and Chelsea getting Gordon. People, this is a very, very likely scenario where Chelsea can involve some of the players to please Everton. Everton at the moment are after a striker, and Amici Batshuayi or a Broja might really tempt them to sell Gordon, along with a Billy Gilmer, who will literally slot in the midfield over Alex Iwobi, who is not a midfielder. This is the only way, people, I can see this deal happen. Everton are in relegation trouble, do not have a striker, sole striker being Rondon. Right now, people, they cannot sell Gordon because if they sell Gordon, they most probably are guaranteeing their relegation. But Chelsea can sweeten the deal if Chelsea involves some of the players. Now, people, read the line that I put. Tuchel signing. People, Gordon doesn't make sense until he's a manager-approved signing. Now, Gordon is not one of the most talented youngsters in the world. He's not at the level that you admire that to be. I think Anthony Gordon is a very, very good player, people. And Anthony Gordon is a player, people, I really admire. But he's not at the level that 60 million must be paid. So this is very, very sure that Todd Bowley here is backing the manager. Now, people, on Anthony Gordon, is he worth 60 million or the price Chelsea are paying for him? No. He is not worth. People are being very clear with you. I'm being very simple with you. He is not worth the 60 million price we are paying. But people, I'm not one of those fans that are going to go, Tuchel, what are you doing? You're not right. I back the manager. And if Gordon fails, then yes, the whole responsibility will be on the shoulders of Thomas Tuchel. But people, he will not fail. And I will always back the Chelsea manager and my manager. And I want Chelsea to become a more stable club and not this hire fire for the policy, people. And people, now giving my opinion, real opinion on Gordon as a player, just leaving the price tag aside, just leaving the big money price aside. People, I'm giving my honest opinion on where Gordon can be used for Chelsea. People, Gordon most probably will play at the right wing back. Most probably, Gordon will play at the right wing back. James will play at the right centre back. And Gordon is being signed by Chelsea because Gordon brings a lot of pressing. Gordon brings a lot of defensive responsibilities as well, much better compared to Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic. He can also be the Reece James cover that Chelsea have been asking for. He can also play at the right side of the wings. He can even play on the left side of the wings. He can even play in a 4-2-3-1 formation. He can even play in a 4-3-3 formation. So this is why Gordon is a versatile player. He's a quick player, tricky player. He can play on the wings. He can defend well. He presses well. And I think this is the reason Chelsea are heavily after him. Tuchel is heavily after him. Tuchel has been trying for players like Adama Traore. He has been trying for players like Rafinha, who from the right wing back position can bring Chelsea some creativity. And this is why people, he's after Anthony Gordon, who can bring more attacking threat to Chelsea from the wings, can cover James well. And this is why James can go at the centre back position. And Gordon can bring attacking responsibilities as well, along with the defensive responsibility as well, people. And people, now going to the next news. And people, again, I do request people, it doesn't take much. Do subscribe. I'm seeing so many people are watching. One like, one subscribe, and it only motivates me to make more content for you people. All love to you, and hope you all are very well and very good. So now, people, the question arises that do Chelsea need a midfielder or not? And if do, then who? Now, Chelsea have been linked with two midfielders, people, Frenkie De Jong and Declan Rice. Next year, even Jude Bellingham might be available. So, people, this is where the Chelsea fans are divided. Should we go for Declan Rice? Who should we go for? Should Chelsea really go for the like of Declan Rice or a Frenkie De Jong? Or should Chelsea save money for a Jude Bellingham? This is where people, Chelsea fans are very, very confused in their regards. And people, this is very, very understandable. Now, people, in my humble opinion, being very, very real with you all, I will prefer Frenkie De Jong, people. And people, before you come at me, you get angry at me, I have a lot of respect, the utmost respect for Declan Rice. I respect Declan Rice. He's a very, very good player, people. I respect Declan Rice a lot. And Declan Rice is still a very, very good CDM in the world. But people, seeing the Tuchel system, the way Tuchel plays, possession-based football, people, Declan Rice will be exposed in the Chelsea team, people. Declan Rice, people, is still not one of the best passer. He's not a very good passer. Declan Rice does not match the profile of Rodri from City, Fabinho from Liverpool. He does not match that philosophy. And this is why I think Declan Rice will be very clumsy on the ball. Chelsea will be caught often. And I think Declan Rice will struggle at Chelsea. Now, Frenkie De Jong is a better passer of the ball than Declan Rice. He's a better technical footballer than Declan Rice. And Frenkie De Jong brings much more creativity to the Chelsea team, which we have been lacking of, than Declan Rice. People, I see De Jong making a very, very good pair with Kovacic, or making a very good pair with Kante, or even making a good pair with Jorginho. The only people, the problem with Declan Rice is, I think his technical ability is not at the level where it should be. I love Rice. I respect Rice. I have no problem with people wanting Rice. I respect their opinion. But people, if I want one, I want Frenkie De Jong, because Frenkie De Jong brings better technical ability. He brings better creativity. He brings better passes. And this is why people, I want De Jong more than people than Declan Rice. So now people, going to the next news. and this is about Chelsea lineup that most probably we could see with all the possible new signings, people. So, people, in my humble opinion, I think this could be Chelsea's likely 11 when all the new signings have been made. People, I do see Edward Mendy staying as a goalkeeper, Koulibaly at the left, James at the right, Fofana in the center. Now, people are going to say, you are an absolute idiot. Why have you dropped Silva? People, Silva cannot play every game, and Koulibaly is still a very, very important player at the left centre back. This is why people, for in my humble opinion, this is going to be the likely Chelsea 11 with all the signings. I think with the signings, we are linked with Frenkie De Jong, Gordon, we are linked with Fofana, Aubameyang. So I have put the most likely Chelsea signings and I made this lineup. I hope you agree. And even if you don't, do put your opinions in the comment section, people. And please subscribe if you haven't. So I think Edward Mendy is going to stay as a goalkeeper because we have no other options. And I love Mendy as well. Koulibaly at the left, James at the right, and Fofana in the middle. This, people, is most probably going to be the Chelsea back three with all the new signings. Now, people, I've been telling you that Chelsea have been after Gordon because Gordon can bring the defensive responsibility, the pressing, the defensive aspect, and along with that, being very threatening on the right wing back position. So he can allow James to go at the right centre back, and Gordon can play at the right wing back. And at some point, they can rotate, and at some point, Gordon can be a bit more defensive, and James can attack. And Chelsea's right side with Sterling, Gordon, and James can be very, very threatening. In the middle, people, if the squad is fully fit, I see Kovacic and De Jong starting. Kovacic is one of the best ball carriers in the world. I think De Jong is a very, very good passer of the ball and a creator. Mount playing in between them, and Chilwell playing as a left wing back because I like Cucurella, but I think Chilwell, one of his best, is a better attacker than Cucurella. Now, people, going to the top, why I see Mason Mount playing as a cam is because I can see Aubameyang playing a bit on the left side, Sterling playing on the right side, and Chelsea creating a very flexible formation where sometimes Mount might be false 9, sometimes Sterling might be false 9, sometimes Aubameyang might be false 9, and this is the way, people, I think Chelsea will line up with all the new signings coming. Now, people, this squad has a lot of good flexibility with them as well, and this squad does look very, very good, people. I think the right side of Chelsea looks very, very good with James, Gordon, Sterling. The left side also looks good with Koulibaly, Chilwell, and Aubameyang. The midfield is so beautiful in De Jong and Kovacic. Mount is going to do wonders to players like Aubameyang and Sterling. And I think Aubameyang and Sterling are going to make a very, very good pair where Chelsea create their own chances as well due to the right movement. People, this is going to be a good lineup. And I think this lineup is going to do very well in my humble opinion. So, people, now I'm recapping today's video and then I'll end. For people watching, please do subscribe and like. It only takes one click. Please support the channel, and I do hope that you like this video as well. And recapping today's contents that I made, people, and discuss with you all. And today, people, for who did not join, we started off discussing about Manchester United and the victory they got. United were absolutely fabulous today. Played some very, very good football yesterday. Won their match, and I think they were very, very good to watch. Big victory for Ten Hag. I think on this channel, the people who have been subscribed know me that I'm backing Ten Hag even as a rival. He needs time. And I think he did a fantastic job. And Rashford was very, very good and good to see him back in form. Sancho is a very good player, a player I wanted him at Chelsea. He's so good to watch and so good with the ball. Varane was an absolute leader at the back. And Maguire has very tough time to come back now. And I think Martinez was very, very good today. And the English media, which does not love height, which hates a player because he's short, have got a good answer in my opinion. Now, Liverpool, for me, people, are struggling right now. And I think Liverpool have a lot of reasons to struggle. First, they have a bit of injury crisis. The midfield is non-existent right now because Thiago is injured. Liverpool, for me, people, have also been a bit complacent because they are Liverpool and they're expecting teams to lay down for them, which is not going to happen anymore because Liverpool are inspiration for everyone. Now, can they win the league? I still think yes. You cannot pull them down. Liverpool is still the most capable team in the Premier League, people, that can win 15, 16 games in a row. So counting them down is a very, very wrong move. While I will also say one thing, that if the lead of City keeps growing, it's going to become impossible, people. Now, and R59 turned out to be a beast. Absolutely fantastic Lisandro yesterday. And Sadio Mane at the moment, people, looks like a big miss. And I've been telling Liverpool and all the fans about this, that Mane will be missed. He was never respected. He was never given his due respect. But now I think people have realized that how important Mane was for this Liverpool team. Now, the first Chelsea news today, people, I discussed was about Emerson and Emerson going to West Ham. People, there were reports that the Emerson deal fell off, but it's very, very good to see that now Emerson might be going. I love Emerson. Emerson is a player whose injury destroyed his career, and now sadly I think it's time for both parties to move. Good move for Emerson, and Chelsea also have a lot of left wing back on the books, so it doesn't make sense. 15 million is a very, very good price I think Chelsea have raised, so well done to Chelsea as well, and this is a good deal for all the parties involved, and best of luck to Emerson people. And then people are discuss about Everton and Armando Broja. Is still people, I back in my prediction. I think that is very, very possible. Liverpool can slip to 3, but no way are they slipping out of top 3 in my opinion. And people now talking about Frank Lampard, people with Anthony Gordon linked to Chelsea, it makes a lot of sense for Everton to bargain a 1 or 2 player from Chelsea so they can have a bit of short-term solution. Now, people, Chelsea have been very clear from the US preseason as well that they will not let Broja go on a permanent deal. But I think letting him go on loan while Aubameyang does the short-term work and Everton also getting a benefit and we getting Gordon is a good deal for all parties involved. And this is why Frank Lampard might be looking at Armando Broja, people. Now, Chelsea are in contact with Fofana deal intermediaries, but also working on the outgoings. Inter are trying to sign Trevor Chalobah on loan up to the clubs. People, I've been also telling you about this, that this deal doesn't make sense. Chelsea have very, very less backup at the centre backs. We have 3 players who are above 30 years old, which is a disaster. We only have 1 young player who we just are not granted even to sign in Fofana. And people, Chelsea defensively are in big trouble. We need to keep Chalobah. We need the cover at the back as well. Whenever we required him, he played well last season, and letting him go on loan is an absolute disaster. Also at Inter, he never gets a chance to play, so it's a disaster from the game point of view, and it's a disaster for Chelsea backup point of view as well. Now, Havertz to stay in the front 3. Fabrizio Romano has reported that one player that Thomas Tuchel will not let go and trust is Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz is the player that has been dividing opinion on all the Chelsea fans. Many fans are losing patience with him. Many fans are getting angry at him, while other fans have been calm and understanding. People, I still love Havertz and I still back him. He is just 23-year-old and Havertz will only become better with time and time. So people, I do trust Havertz. But yes, the money Chelsea paid for him, I think as much as time is going on, Havertz need to become more consistent. Otherwise, at least, if not selling, Havertz will at least be out of the front 3. Because once Aubameyang comes in, I do see Aubameyang, Sterling and Mount being the Chelsea front 3. So Havertz for me at the moment will not stay in the front 3 if Aubameyang is signed. But Havertz is the player people I back, and I do hope that he fires at Chelsea because people, he's a very, very talented player. Now, going to the next news, people, this is about Aubameyang and Chelsea. And as per Fabrizio Romano, the deal is agreed around Barcelona want 25 to 30 million, but the personal terms are agreed. While Relobo reports the deal has been agreed for 18 million plus some add-ons. People, right now, I'm trusting Fabrizio more. But people, let's see if this news is reliable. Now, people, if we sign Aubameyang for 20 million amount, I think it's a good deal. But if we sign Aubameyang for 25, 30 million, people, that is a very, very bad deal and paying overpriced as well. But for people, one thing I do want to say, let's assume that we sign Aubameyang for 25 million. I'm not going to say that, oh, this is a bad signing. Why are we doing this? Because people, I'm a person that backs my manager. I'm a person that wants my club to stop this sacking hire policy. And I wish that the club backs Thomas Tuchel and gives the player he wants. And this is why I'll back Aubameyang. And if Aubameyang fails, we know where the accountability will end. Now, with Hakim Ziyech news, people will discuss about just after the Leeds match, him going to Ajax as well. And if Antony joins Manchester United, then Hakim Ziyech will be joining Ajax. Now, people, Hakim Ziyech is a player I told you in the chat as well. I admire and I respect him a lot. But sadly, in the Premier League, which is very quick, which is very and Chelsea Blues here. Goodbye, sir. Thank you so much for joining. A big support of the channel. And people who are here, please subscribe and please like the content. Please, people, I'm watching. Just one like and subscribe, and it means a lot to me, people. So Hakim Ziyech, people, for me, is going to be replacing Antony at Ajax. Now, if Antony deal falls through, then yes, it's not going to be possible. But if Antony deal doesn't fall through, I can see Hakim Ziyech going at AC Milan. Oh, sorry, Ajax. But people, I will say one thing about Hakim Ziyech. I love him. I respect him. I admire him. He's a very, very good player, talented player. He's very good with his feet, people. But the only problem with Hakim Ziyech is he's very one-dimensional. He's very slow. And this is why a player like him doesn't work in the Premier League. He also needs a proper striker to work with him. And I think with Chelsea losing Lukaku and that physical presence, that was never possible. Big up to Ziyech. Will never forget the goal against Atletico Madrid. Never forget the goal against Tottenham. He will forever be loved. And I think it's better for both parties to part ways now. Now, people, going to the next news we discussed today, and that was about Christian Pulisic. People have been telling you that Christian Pulisic will most likely stay at Chelsea, and I do think that he's still the most talented attacker Chelsea have, and selling him will be a mistake. One thing people I will say is Christian Pulisic needs to be given at least 4 or 5 games by Tuchel to show his worth. If then he doesn't improve, then I think it's all on Pulisic. But right now, Tuchel is not giving any chances, and I think that's wrong as well. But people, I will say one thing, that Pulisic at Chelsea has also been inconsistent. So putting all the blame on Thomas Tuchel people is very, very wrong. Now, Chelsea have been encouraged towards the second round of talks for Rafael Leão, and he was one of the ownership target. Now, people, Rafael Leão is a very, very good player. A player, people, I always admire, and a very intelligent player. But people, let's be honest with ourselves. This transfer is not happening this window. You have to see AC Milan not selling at this quick time. Chelsea having to pay 80 million for Fofana, 80 for Leão, 30 for Aubameyang, then money for De Jong, then money for Gordon. It's absolutely impossible, people. And this is why, people, that is not going to happen. So I think this deal is out of order. But I do think that Chelsea can sign him next year if attack doesn't do well, people. Now, people, going to the next news. And this is about Gordon. Now it's reported that Chelsea have offered Everton 50 million plus 10 million as add-ons. That's the thing, people, that has been reported. Now, people, I will say one thing. That 60 million is a very, very heavy price. And I do think this price will be shortened if Chelsea offers some players. Now, people, till now, Everton don't want to sell Gordon because they have some injury concerns. They are struggling. And with this season expecting relegation battle, I think Everton want to keep him. But if Chelsea offers some players, if Chelsea offer Batshuayi, Gilmer or a Bruja, I think Everton will agree. And people, I will say one thing. 60 million is a very high price. But if he's the manager signing, I'm going to back him. And if he fails, then all the accountability will be on the manager, people. And Rafael Leão looks United signing in the future. That could be, but you never know. I think even City could sign him in the future as well. Nobody knows about that. And De Jong and Rice. Who should Chelsea sign? And do Chelsea need a midfielder? Now, people, we need a midfielder. I'm being very, very honest. Kante can only play one game in 4, which is sad. I love him to bits, but he's not fit anymore. Kovacic is injury prone as well. I love Kovacic, but he's injury prone. And Jorginho is the only fit player who has to play every game. And that's where Chelsea are struggling. Gallagher is not a true midfielder. He is not a pivot player. And Gallagher is more like an attacker. And Chelsea are going to struggle if we do not have another midfielder. Billy Gilmer is out of favor with Tuchel. And this is why Chelsea need a proper midfielder. And I think for me, people, I admire Declan Rice. I love Declan Rice. I wish Declan Rice the best. But people, if I have to choose one, it will be Frenkie De Jong. Because Frenkie De Jong brings much more technical sense in a possession system than Rice. He also makes a much better partnership with Kovacic than Rice. And this is why, people, I prefer De Jong. But I respect if anyone wants Rice. And I will say one thing, that Chelsea do need a midfielder, people. Now, people, this is the likely lineup, in my opinion, people, when Chelsea will make all their signings. I think, sadly, Silva, with the age he has got, he cannot play every game. So it's most probably going to be Koulibaly, Fofana, James. Edward Mendy has a goalkeeper. I think Gordon is being signed because Gordon is a very versatile player. He can play in a lot of positions. He presses a lot. He gives everything on the pitch. So he can play at the right wing back, where he can be a very, very attacking right wing back in comparison to Loftus-Cheek, and can also give James the chance to play at the centre back. And they both can rotate and make Chelsea right side unbearable for the opponents as well, with Sterling also being on the right side. Along with that, people, I do see if De Jong is signed playing with Kovacic and Jorginho Kante being on the bench, and then Chilwell at the left, and then Koulibaly, Fofana, James in the middle, Mendy as the goalkeeper, Mount playing as a centre attacking midfielder, with Aubameyang and Sterling playing a very hybrid striker formation. Sometimes Aubameyang might play as a false 9, Mount might go to the left, Sterling might go to the right. Sometimes Sterling might go to the left, Mount might go to the right, and sometimes even Sterling might play as a striker, Aubameyang at the left and Mount at the right. I think Aubameyang and Sterling are going to make a good pair. And people, I do agree that Chelsea have no creator. But people, I'm also going to tell you one thing. Some attackers create their chances themselves by their movements and their understanding. Sadly, till now, Chelsea are not able to do that. And Aubameyang can just offer us that. And also, Aubameyang is very aware striker who can get in the box at the right time, at the right place, people. I think Frenkie De Jong will end up at Bayern. Let's see. I think that is possible as well. Gordon at 60 million. I do agree, but I do back the manager and I hope it works out well. I'm seeing Gordon is backup for Sterling. No. I think he's going to be a backup for a lot of players. Gordon can play on the wings. Gordon can play in a 4-2-3-1. Gordon can play at the right wing back. I think Gordon is going to be a backup for a lot of players. And this is why Chelsea is very much after him, because Tuchel has been wanting versatile players. So on this note, people, I do end the video, people. First of all, I hope you all have a very, very good day. Please, people, I hope you like the content. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Just one subscribe, and it only motivates me to make more and more video for you. I hope you subscribe it. Please hit the bell notification button, and please, people, do like the content. Please subscribe. Hope you have a great day, people. More content on the way. Thank you, people, and please subscribe.